Hello and welcome to this video where PrimaryScape is explained with examples in less than 5 minutes. Blue rectangular shapes represent structures. Structures can be systems, teams, domains, organizations. Basically anything that can be considered to exist and have a life cycle. Green rectangular shapes with the corners cut off represents information. Information can be records, documents, files, data, or any other kind of content. Yellow rectangles with rounded corners represents behavior. Behavior includes functions, processes, or any kind of activity or work. There are 4 types of relationships: data access and data transfer, functional access, and functional transfers. The arrows generally show the direction of the flow of information. Information and behavior are realized in structures. This is just about all the introduction you need for new people to get a basic understanding of any PrimaryScape diagrams that are shown to them. If nothing else, just understanding that structures are blue, information is green, and behavior is yellow will go a long way. Now let's show some simple examples to further illustrate how this works. We start with a team. Right away you will notice that I've used a different shade of blue to represent a structure that is made out of people. This is an example of how one can use variations to make a diagram easier to understand. The team performs an activity. In order to perform the activity, the team will be using a system. The system has a function built into it. The team is using this function of the system. Notice the anchor, the solid dot at one end of the relationship. The anchor shows which activity initiates the functional access. The system also stores some information, shown here as dataset A. The function reads information from dataset A in order to do what it needs to do. Notice the arrow on the functional access relationship goes into the function, showing the information going to this function. As a result of the function executing, it creates and writes different information to dataset B. Here the arrow goes into the data, showing that the function is writing data. Then we have a second system. The data transfer shows how the dataset B information is transferred. The data is copied over to be stored in the other system. This diagram does not go into the details as to how this data transfer works. It just shows at a high level that data is transferred from one system to another. Again, the arrow of the relationship shows the direction of the information flow. It's a simple example, but it shows how information and behavior takes place across systems and teams. Now let's take a look at our second example. Again, we start with a team. There's also a system. In this case, we start by showing that the system stores some reportable information. The team is responsible for creating a report. The team queries the system for a report. The anchor of the functional access relationship shows which activity it is that initiates the functional access. The function of the system reads from the reportable information, and again notice the direction of the arrow. Since the function is accessed and triggered by the team, the only place to send the report is to the requesting user. To emphasize this in this diagram, I added an arrow next to the anchor to show the main direction of the flow of information. However, for practical reasons, I often skip showing this arrow. The direction of the flow of information is typically clear from the context. The team, as part of their work, writes the report to the network file share. Team A emails Team B, notifying them that the report has been created and where to find it. This functional transfer triggers Team B to start analyzing the report. To analyze the report, Team B reads it from the network file share. Again, we have shown how information and behavior takes place across both IT systems and teams. And that's it for this short explanation of PrimaryScape, together with a couple of examples. And it has taken less than 5 minutes. When you have time, do check out the slightly longer 14-minute PrimaryScape introduction video. In that video, I cover a little bit of background, how PrimaryScape is whiteboard friendly, some variations, and some more detail about the PrimaryScape notation. Thank you for your time, and don't forget to subscribe.